How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Ty_Drums here, and you guys are watching Watering Alcoholics Reviews. You know what time it is. It's time for a tequila comparison. Let's get into it. Gold tequila versus silver tequila, and select reserve versus piedra azul. Let's get right into this one, folks. Let's do the breakdown here. We'll see which one of these is the better one, and if you tune in today on the YouTube Shorts, you'll see how these taste together. Let's get right into it. Starting things off with our gold bottle right here. This is Select Reserve Gold Tequila. Product of Mexico. Doesn't say it's imported. Just says it's product of Mexico here. Made with the finest blue agave. But it doesn't say how much of it in there. That's a good point to note. And this bottle, it costs like $18.99 if you get another bottle with it like I did with this. By itself, though, this is around $21. So this is the most expensive bottle of Select Reserve out of the rest of the options we've tried so far. Since these bottles are known for being relatively cheap, if you're like going to a big event or a party and need a big handle for the low that you're using for mixes, then Select Reserve is pretty good for that. You know, they have vodka, they have gin, they have multiple different types of whiskeys. And now I'm learning, as I went online and did my research, they said in a previous video, they also have silver tequila, and they also have silver rum. So I'm going to look out for that, some other Lucky's locations, so we can complete the entire lineup of Select Reserve products. But this one here, on the description it says, tequila distilled from genuine blue agave. Enjoy as desired. Straight in your favorite margarita recipe, choice is yours. And this is imported and bottled by Distillers Products out in Fairfield, which is like an hour or two away from me. Pretty cool stuff there. All right, let's go ahead and take a shot of this, and then we'll get into our Blanco bottle here. All right. Let's give it a little sniff test. Love that kind of like robust, but also tequila-ish kind of thing it's got going on here. Tequila-ish. What am I saying? Cheers, everybody. Whoo! There we go. Gold tequila is pretty cool, I will say. I like how, you know, it takes from the qualities of whiskey and rum with its oakiness and its darker color, and it makes for a more palatable flavor, in my opinion, as opposed to those intense lime, salty kind of tasting tequilas out there. It also has a slight burn, but it kind of lingers towards the end of the sip, kind of leaves you feeling it a bit in your chest. As they say, grows a little bit of hair on your chest, you know. But, yeah, I do actually really enjoy this one. In terms of Select Reserve bottles, definitely up there in my top favorite bottles from Select Reserve. Next to, what was it I really liked? I think it was either their rum. Yes, it's up there with like their scotch and their rum and their gin up there. I do really like this one, and it's worth the money in my opinion, especially, you know, if you're making a bunch of mixers, because I think this also goes pretty good with mixers. It doesn't really, its robust flavor doesn't really cut too far into the chaser. You know, you're still able to enjoy it, and, you know, yeah. With that being said, though, let's go ahead and transition on to our Blanco tequila. This is Piedra Azul Blanco tequila. This is made in Jalisco, Mexico, and imported by Underdog Wine and Spirits. Now, this is made from 100% agave azul. And this was established in 1820 as well. So, as you learned in previous tequila review, Jose Cuervo is the oldest distillery in Latin America, made in 1795. So this came out 25 years later, in 1820, Piedra Azul. It also has this little seal on here, very simple but very nice design on here, as opposed to this very stock, very store exclusive kind of design that we have for this Select Reserve, which looks like Signature Select, which is like Safeway or Vons, wherever you guys are located. Now this one has a cork. Lovely sound, not as loud as when we first popped this thing open. You also have a bit of a wider shot glass, so it's about the same amount as this skinnier one. Whoo, you can smell it from here. Don't even need to put my nose up to do an aroma test. This is pretty good. All right. I don't know why I closed that. I'm going to have to probably open it and try it again later. Pillage Azul Blanco Tequila going up. Cheers, my friends. Oh yeah, there's a bit of that tequila kick. But wow, this Blanco is super smooth. Despite me not liking all the flavor characteristics of a Blanco tequila, this stuff is pretty damn good. It gets the job done. It's also very smooth. It's very mild on some of the tequila notes. But it still presents them in a way that's enjoyable to the drinker. Yeah, very, very soothing burn. Very light and soothing burn that also lingers in the finish. But not like with the gold where you kind of feel it in your chest. This one you kind of feel like above, almost in your throat area. Just that kind of like tingling, soothing kind of burn. But I'll be surprised. This one I actually like more than I thought I would. It's pretty damn good. And it also goes great with mixers. Another one that goes great with mixers, as we saw with the YouTube short from yesterday, with this and the strawberry lemonade. By the way, guys, we're going to be seeing which chaser goes the best with each of these drinks in the future. We have multiple different chasers to choose from here in the video, so it's going to be fun. Can't wait to record those, so keep your seeing balls peeled for that. But, yeah, I feel like this Pillage Azul might really help me turn the corner on these Blanco tequilas. Because I do think I would definitely go back for a gold tequila, but, you know, for this kind of tequila, I'm a little like, you know, even some of the gold tequilas, you might still get that kind of Blanco flavor, like a Reposado or something like that, but I just like how Select Reserve does it, personally. And for the value, it's great. And also, this bottle, for 750 milliliters, cost $15 as opposed to this 1.75 liter that cost just over $20. With discounted, it was around $19. So, the more you know. Now, let's get into the comparison process here. We're going to rank these based off of flavor for the first round, based off of body for the second round, and if we need to go to round 3, that's going to be up to me to determine which one of these we like the best. So let's get started. When it comes to the flavor round, this one is a tricky one because, again, while I don't really like the lime salty flavor-esque, the flavor traits of this type of tequila, I think it's presented in a very palatable way. A very slight kick of salty liminess that combined together, it's like sliminess. It kind of goes to show how much I don't enjoy it, but I think this is presented in a palatable and enjoyable way. It's not like a big wave of saltiness or lime flavor that's off-putting to me. This is something I could actually enjoy compared to other tequilas. But with that being said, I think the flavor round is still going to go to the Select Reserve right here because I like that gold flavor more. Cheers. Yeah, I love the oakiness and the robustness that comes in at the end of this flavor. It's very bold. And it makes me feel like I am drinking something that's not tequila, which I think is cool. I'm going to go for this one. Now, when it comes to the body round, I think that this is a tough choice because both of these feel good to drink, but only one of these can be the best of the two. Cheers. Yeah, that taste is still something you gotta get acquired to for tequila. Even as a experienced drinker as myself, I haven't tried tequila too much like that, you know? But I will say, as close and comparable as the two bodies are, I feel like the Blanco is a bit smoother and a bit more effective in the body. So I'm going to give round 2 to the Blanco one here. Now, This is so interesting having this cork, and it's not like a traditional wine cork. Kind of gotta really put it on there. We're already at 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and crown our winner here between the Gold and the Blanco tequila. Which one do I like better? Round 3. The winner is Select Reserve Gold Tequila. This one takes the W. I know, I might be a little surprised, but honestly, a couple reasons here. First is my bias of not liking that tequila taste. So this, not having that traditional lime and salty tequila flavor, instead having that robust oaky, like whiskey flavor, really sold me on this bottle. And second, the body is still pretty good. I just feel like the Piedra Azul tequila, I like the body a bit better, but this is still fantastic. Better value, very enjoyable product, along with the rest of the Select Reserve line. If you're ever going to some place where they want you to bring a big handle of something, you can just pick this up. It's basically the same size. It's the exact same size as the handle, just in a plastic jug. And it gets the job done, man. You don't need to pay so much money on a designer brand when you could just buy something like this that's pretty satisfying on its own and honestly shouldn't be, shitted on because of its price point. It's good. I like this one. And as for this, though, if you want to get something a bit smaller but a little bit more quality, and if you're into the Blanco as opposed to the Gold, then I would go for this. It does say 100% Blue Agave on here. You can notice that. It is definitely still a solid choice. But that's going to do it for this long-ass video here. I've been Ty_Drums, and I'm signing off for Wandering Alcoholics Reviews. My friends, if you've made it this far, please leave a like, sub, share it to your social medias. That would mean a lot. And of course, as always, remember to pillage responsibly, my friends. Skäl. Take care.